We hear this a lot where I don't want to live in a cookie cutter home. Well, let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. One thing that we started doing early on was we started building neighborhoods. I'm a firm believer in character in your street and in your neighborhood. I like choice. I like variation. I like maybe something a little bit different in a neighborhood that you don't see in every neighborhood. I think it's great to have choices, its uniqueness, and I think that's what gives a neighborhood character. And I think that's what we've done over the years.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Hey, this is Jay Foreman, the host of Old School, 3 to 6 p.m. here at 93.7 The Ticket. And one of my favorite things to do is come down and meet all the fans before and after as they cheer on our beloved Huskers.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Let's fly. Your next trip starts at Lincoln Airport with American Airlines. Now flying nonstop service to Dallas, Fort Worth, and Chicago. American Airlines connects Lincoln to major hubs and destinations around the globe. Wherever you're headed, LNK gets you there with new nonstop flights on American Airlines.
Now boarding.
Convenient, fast, and stress-free. Book your next flight at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
This is Grant Wister. I played at Nebraska, and after football, I wanted to build something in Nebraska that I was genuinely proud of. Champ Roofing is that. We built the whole company around one idea: do the job right and treat people well. Roof replacements, inspections, gutters, siding, whatever you need, our team is going to show up, communicate with you, and handle it with real care. Nebraska homeowners deserve that. Visit us at champ-roofing.com or call 402-858-7449.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
Want to make the easy call? Call John Henry's. From leaky pipes to a broken AC, flickering lights to furnace fights, even drains and duct cleaning, we've got it handled. Plumbing, heating, air, and electrical, all under one trusted roof. Proudly serving homes across Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas, and ready 24/7. Visit calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air,
and electrical.
John just tried Renza's new Jammin' Bacon Cheeseburger with its sweet heat bacon jam, pepper jack cheese, bacon, and cream cheese.
Whoa, this burger's like totally...
What?
You know, boom, 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 boom.
Not sure I'm getting it.
It's totally jammin'?
Ah, I see. Well, don't jam with your mouth full. Try the Jammin' Bacon Cheeseburger. Because from the way we make it to the way it makes you feel, Renza makes it all better.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
seems like just the other day, I was building my first house. I've seen many changes to our building market in Lincoln. It's been a fun road.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, we hear this a lot where I don't want to live in a cookie cutter home. Well, let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. One thing that we started doing early on was we started building neighborhoods. I'm a firm believer in character in your street and in your neighborhood. I like choice. I like variation. I like maybe something a little bit different in a neighborhood that you don't see in every neighborhood. I think it's great to have choices, its uniqueness, and I think that's what gives a neighborhood character. And I think that's what we've done over the years.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting.
Welcome into For the Girls Club with former Husker volleyball player Mandy Monson. Join Mandy as she helps you learn how to determine your own destiny, no matter where you're at in life, from the court to the classroom, the bank to the boardroom. Become a better you with the For the Girls Club. Here is your host, Mandy Monson.
That's right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to For the Girls Club. My name is Mandy Monson, and I am your CEO and host. And tonight, I am so excited, you guys, for the show. Tonight, I have on Shannon Fling with the Transformation Group. Shannon, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
Oh my gosh. So you guys, before Shannon and I stepped into the studio, we have been doing a power strategy session. Doing a strategy session with Shannon in regards to marketing and everything, automation and systems. So Shannon, I'm so excited to have you on the show. So here's why I love the show and what we do on the show. We do 4 things on the show. I have women business owners on the show, and we talk about your origin story.
Okay.
We talk about the growth of your business, where it's at today. Okay. Segment 2. Segment 3 is maybe some challenges, or like, what's it really like to run a business? Not what you see on the Insta and the Facebook. Like,
I can be honest. That's
great.
right.
Real stuff. And then the 4th section is advice.
I love
advice. And then some promotion. I'm sure you maybe have some promotion, maybe some products and services that you can talk
check
about.
all those boxes for you and the audience today. So
I love it. I love it. So thank you so much for being on. Personally and selfishly, I'm super excited for this show because obviously I just said we were having a strategy session for me. And I'm just excited to learn.
Experienced a little bit of what it's like working with me, but I love it because it's just about conversation, setting the goals, all the things you do with your clients.
Yes.
I just implement strategy in a different way. So we can talk about that too.
I love that. Yeah. Okay. So tell our audience about your origin story, how you came into owning your own business, doing your thing, and the Transformation Group.
Well, I was born in, no, I'm just kidding.
I know. I did that. It's like, here's where it's,
you're right. So I spent 10 years in banking. What I learned.
Oh, look at that. Look at us.
Right.
I've also been in banking.
I know. It's really fun. It's really fun to see that if you have the conversations, you can always find a connector.
Yes.
Right. And we found many, right, through people and our resume, if you will. But I spent 10 years in banking. And what I did on that side of my life, or in that moment of my life, was I learned how to work with people, build teams, have conversations, because I worked on the retail side. And so I really loved that service side. And I took those skills and developed them and was kind of thrown into, I accidentally got into business. So let's be real. I did not have this grandiose idea of I will be an entrepreneur, but my husband's very entrepreneurial minded. And he saw in me, and I thank him all the time, probably more. I probably need to thank him more because he saw in me that you could do this and pushed me into that. And what was the catalyst is I had 2 young children. So it wasn't very conducive to work my W-2 job. Right. So anyway, I found out that I fell in love with business through other people's businesses, and I served them in a way using those skill sets. I built a team around the assets and the skill sets I didn't have so I could serve them. So I just had to really have the conversations, hear their goals, and then achieve them through either relationships or bringing team members in that had the skill sets that I didn't have, because you don't have to wear all the hats. You really
Right.
don't have to wear all the hats.
Right. Yeah.
So that's kind of how transformation was born. And this summer we're 24 years old. And so there's been a lot of reiterations about that in 24 years. So
That's
yeah.
amazing. I didn't know it was 24 years
Yeah,
old.
this
That's
summer.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Was there a version of you that almost didn't start what you're doing today? And what almost stopped you?
Well, there was not one moment. And if you are an entrepreneur in 24 years, there's many of those moments.
Yes.
Let's be real.
Totally.
Yes.
Totally.
There's many of those moments that either we have our own self-doubt. What are we doing? Because our industry's changed, or our clientele's changed, or marketing has changed.
Right.
You know, those sorts of things. And you have to relearn all the time. Right. So there's those moments, or we have setbacks and unsurety. But I think then you have those little moments, you spend a day or two, maybe a week, if it's a hard hit, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, I remember what it's like, the success, or achieving the goal for someone, and you crave that. And so then it pushes you past that.
Right.
So there's many of those moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that look like for you in the transformation group, and how you help your clients, achieve what they're looking to do? Because marketing is such a big, broad word. And so in the realm of what you do at your company, what does that look like when you work with a client?
Yeah. So I think what I struggled with for a while was, they say the riches are in the niches, right? So
Yes.
niche down.
Right.
And you've done that with the 4TheGirlsClub,
Yes,
right?
correct.
Not that you're exclusive to that, but that is a very defined niche that you want to foster.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm like, gosh, I do all this stuff with marketing. I don't want a niche. But what I did do is I niched in small business. It's what I recognized.
Yeah.
I would not excel going into Samson Construction. They're a huge, or something. I don't know why that came to me, but big. I don't identify there, but I do identify with small business owners because I am one. And I understand what those processes or systems or technology or marketing can do for them. I understand their budgets better. So that was my niche. And I'm really glad that I chose that niche over an industry niche, because that saved me during COVID. I had a colleague that he niched in travel and tourism. Well, overnight that was done. So I was very lucky at just being niched in small business, because we had our hits, but I served them well. And so I could partner with them in really very specific, close ways. So,
Right.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of layers. I get to talk to the owner,
Right. And
so
lots of different types of businesses.
Right. And that's why I said I fell in love with business, because I get to see that even though all these businesses might have different services and products, there is that framework, there is that structure that's just business.
Right.
And so I love hearing their stories.
Yeah.
And I can use strategies and successes in other industries and reapply them in different ways, modify them for their industry. So that's been a lot of fun over the years.
Yeah. That's amazing. When I think about the name Transformation Group,
right,
and what you just said about small businesses, so what exactly then is transformation marketing, right? And how is it different from what most people think marketing is, or what most business owners would think marketing is?
Yeah. So that transformation has been, so you'll see in our logo that we have a bean, right? So
I noticed that.
Yes.
And it's very little
it's
sprout.
a little squirrely thing. I love it.
that. Yeah.
Our first couple clients were actually ag based.
Oh,
which is interesting. So,
Mhm.
but I do feel like there's transformations that we have all the time, right? I'm going through one in the last few years in the fact of transformation marketing becoming transformation group. And one of the catalysts of that is that, yes, we still do marketing, but we're also bringing in software and automations to help with marketing, lead
Right.
nurturing, because we understand that marketing and sales go hand in hand. So we are are helping small businesses, because what I would hear oftentimes is, we do any type of marketing. We're a full service marketing agency. For a small business, that's like, whoa, that sounds like a lot.
Right.
That sounds expensive.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
So that was a learned, lesson that I had to learn.
Yeah.
The second thing is oftentimes, depending in the service industries, they're like, well, we don't need marketing. We have more work than what we can handle.
Yes.
They needed automations and systems.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
And so when did you, when you think about the evolution of your company over that 24 years, about what time or what frame did that happen where you went from just the typical marketing into, hey, we're going to add this layer of automation and systems so that really you can get the biggest return? To me, I think you're going to get the biggest return on investment for your marketing, your advertising dollars, if you have the automation and the systems, which is where you guys come in.
Well, and I will say, I wished I learned the lesson earlier, because you would say, okay, we're doing all this marketing, and then you pass it off to sales.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then if they don't get to that sales lead, or they don't track them, they don't measure them, well, we just ask how they came in. Or I don't have a process that if today the buy isn't a yes in that, how did we nurture them? So now you spent marketing dollars to get them in your little hopper, but maybe they're going to buy in a month or two. Well, if we leave that up to manual, I've got to remember that Sally was interested, but her intersection of decision didn't happen until 3 months later.
Yeah.
Then it becomes a dead lead that you spent money on.
Right.
Either time, money, right, through networking, or money through advertising. One of the things gets spent.
Yeah.
And then you'd hate for it to die so quickly.
Yeah. Well, and listen, time is money.
Right.
Because if you're spending time generating a lead, going to a networking event, or maybe you're cold calling and then you set an appointment, okay, that takes time. So you get the lead, but then you have no system to, automate the nurturing.
Right.
I mean,
just
you just
staying present
correct
in their world. Right.
Yeah.
And that can look a lot of different ways. And in fact, just this week, I was blessed with a little gift of someone that I worked on, didn't win them as a client a year and a half ago. And they're like, hey, I'm leaving the company, but they specifically asked for your name because now I'm not doing these things. They need you. I'm like, well, that's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
If we didn't have that presence in front of them for the last year and a half, that opportunity could have been given, who knows, would have popped out someone else's marketing funnel, So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which is why you got to stay in front of them.
Exactly.
And the other thing too, in the 10X world, what we talk about is the money sits on the math and the math sits on top of the money. So in regards to marketing, like what you're talking about, if you don't have a system to track your metrics, you actually can't do the math.
Well, there you go.
Which means then you can't get the money. Or if you're deploying money, you can't even tell if you're getting a return on your investment, right?
Well, and that's the thing is I have had interesting ROI discussions in a lot of ways over the years. I've had someone say, well, what's the ROI of my business card? Depends on who you give it to.
Yeah, that's a great
what I
point.
mean?
Yes.
Like,
we are dropping knowledge here tonight, everybody.
Right. So, I mean, how you measure that. And then we also talk about metrics on touch points.
Yeah.
How many touch points does it take? And what I'm seeing is it can take longer if you don't have great thought out touch points. And it could take longer depending on the price point of your service.
Totally.
And it could take, there's lots of things. And I think we're having more touch points when we are fragmented in our attention. How do we get content? We have so much access to knowledge right now.
Yeah.
So that also paralyzes some of that decision making. So being able to cut through that clutter comes with some consistency.
Right.
But when we have some automations behind that, it allows us to be consistent, because if it becomes Shannon remembering to do these things, my intention is to do so, time does not allow it,
Yeah. And it's not even just, like life, right? So I have kids, many business owners have partners, kids, they're not just running their business. And so it's not just the socials that can get, you can get distracted by having to cook dinner or having to go pick up, whoever at school and take them to their next activity.
Well, and what I'm hearing a lot too, and this is just our lives as humans,
yes.
But when Sally is an intricate part of your business and Sally needs to have a surgery, or Sally leaves,
Yes.
or whatever happens in Sally's life, if we do not have systems in place, all that knowledge, all that intent, all that manual work goes out the door when Sally takes a hiatus.
Yes, which is a huge risk to a small business owner.
Absolutely it is.
Yeah.
But if we have systems, now you can train it on the systems. And guess what? They kind of prop up a lot of those little bumps in the road because they are consistent. If you have messaging already nurturing for 12 months out,
Right.
leads,
Yeah.
it gives you a little runway to train your next sales staff, or have an interim person step in and cover Sally's leads while Sally's gone.
Right.
So those things are important.
Do you think, I mean, because you've been in the business for, 24 years with Transformation Group, I mean, what I experience as a 10X business coach and helping my clients, but also honestly in running my own business, is that the speed to lead is exceptionally important right now.
Yes.
And I think that time frame has just really gotten condensed. I would say even in the last 18 months, like it is 6 months. I don't know. I think it's constantly changing right now. So I would love to hear from a professional that's doing agency marketing and working with small business clients all the time. Like, what do you see from that speed standpoint where people can get paralyzed?
Yes.
And what do you guys do within this new environment to really help your clients to be able to break through that, break free of that, so that they can really reach their target customers to help them with their problems?
Yeah. When you even said that phrase, and it'll be interesting. So hit Mandy up on her socials. What did that feel like when you heard that speed to lead? We have this expectation of speed. We put that pressure on ourselves often,
Right.
right?
Yes, totally.
And so what I do is it is a reality, but what does that really even look like?
Right.
So
What does it really even mean?
It could mean just literally picking one process that you are going to focus on and be expedient in getting that launched. You and I just talked about that before.
You guys, we just had a strategy session about this.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, so Mandy is very dynamic. She has about 5 different things we talked about that true expertise she can bring to the table. Right.
Yes.
So I look at that and go, well, what are you doing on the daily? Right. You do networking. You have some local leads. You have national
I do a
leads
radio
too,
show.
right? You do a radio show. You have the 4TheGirlsClub. If you were to pick one thing, build that process out with intention, have that thing humming, right? Now you can move on to the next. So there is speed, but you don't have to do all things fast.
Correct.
Just pick one thing and be consistent.
And I think that goes, you make such a great point. It goes back to commitment and intention.
Yeah.
What I in intentional commitment, not
There you go.
to right. When you think about the small business owner, we get pulled in so many different directions. And I think where small business owners can really flounder or can really just feel very eventually burned out is they're trying to do all the things. They're trying to do it the most expeditious way. And they're really kind of the messaging really just gets thinned out.
Right.
Yeah.
Or we just don't take the time to think about what that experience needs to be for our leads or our customers. We don't take that time.
Right.
We may want to, but until someone carves out some time and says, okay, we're going to focus on this.
Yeah.
Right. I need to hear from you the experience you want them to have. Now I can build all that framework.
Right.
And I can polish it up.
Yeah.
But you do that in coaching too. It's like,
yes,
you deal with parts of the business world that I find stressful and yucky. But you're in the financial, like, remember, I told you I was in banking. I was in the customer service, the happy friend, let's make friends stage.
Yes.
I had to balance tills and vaults. I did it, hated it. Right.
Yeah.
So we all have our skill set. So when I look at that, going, I am taking those aspects and making them smooth, not hands off, but definitely lighter lifted.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. And what you and I were talking about in my strategy session with you was there are just so many tools available today that make the client experience when interacting with you so much more efficient. I do not think dialing and phone calls and in-person meetings will ever go away.
No.
That will never go away. Even in the world of AI, people want to do business with people that they know, trust, and like.
Right.
But there is so much technology available to help them really, I would say, support
Yes.
and really affirm what that relationship is.
Well, and we see this too because rewind, and I hate to go back to this timestamp because I think we need to move on, but pre-COVID,
Yeah.
my husband particularly thought that Zoom meetings were impersonal, right? Well, we were
They're
given
efficient.
They're
Let's be real.
efficient. That's
Especially for
exactly
women.
it. They are super
Yeah.
efficient. We don't have to travel across town. We don't have all those things.
Yeah.
Do I only do Zoom meetings? Of course not.
Right.
But they are a strategy that we can do for efficiency. And there's a lot of things that can come out of that. So when we talk about that going, well, how do you book with me? Now we have the option of booking calendars.
Right.
I would rather that than email back and forth when I can pull up their calendar of availability, see what matches mine. Let's book it. Let's do it. And we're
Right.
done.
And have the meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So using technology in those aspects, just a booking calendar is huge, or a chat widget, or a missed call text back. If you're a solopreneur, chances are you're going to have meetings that you aren't answering your own phone.
Yes.
So text them back and the system will do it for you.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, Shannon, when we come back on the For the Girls Club, we're going to talk about growth, maybe growth that you guys have experienced, but also how you help businesses grow.
Awesome.
All right. For the Girls Club on 93.7, The Ticket.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Gentlemen, are you ready for something beyond the ordinary haircut? At Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, they blend your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. Sink into a comfy chair, unwind with a complimentary drink, and let their master barbers handle the rest. It's not just grooming, it's an experience. Whether you're prepping for a big meeting, needing to get cleaned up before family comes to town, or just need a little time to yourself, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln delivers sharp style every time. Book now at Scissors and Scotch in Lincoln, just south of 30th and Yankee Hill Road.
93.7 The Ticket is Lincoln's home for Kansas City Royals baseball in 2026. Catch all the action as Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and a pitching rotation led by Cole Reagans try to lead the Royals back to the postseason. That's Kansas City Royals baseball all summer long. On the air in Lincoln at 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at
Aspen Builders.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Hey, this is Jay Foreman, the host of Old School, 3 to 6 p.m. here at 93.7 The Ticket. And one of my favorite things to do is come down and meet all the fans before and after as they cheer on our beloved Huskers.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Let's fly. Your next trip starts at Lincoln Airport with American Airlines. Now flying nonstop service to Dallas, Fort Worth, and Chicago. American Airlines connects Lincoln to major hubs and destinations around the globe. Wherever you're headed, LNK gets you there with new nonstop flights on American Airlines. Convenient, fast, and stress-free. Book your next flight at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
This is Grant Wister. I played at Nebraska, and after football, I wanted to build something in Nebraska that I was genuinely proud of. Champ Roofing is that. We built the whole company around one idea: do the job right and treat people well. Roof replacements, inspections, gutters, siding, whatever you need, our team is going to show up, communicate with you, and handle it with real care. Nebraska homeowners deserve that. Visit us at champ-roofing.com or call 402-858-7449.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out, run it out, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
Now back to For the Girls Club on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, Mandy Monson.
Welcome back, everybody. Shannon and I were talking during the break, and I'm like, Shannon, I think we could have a conversation for, multiple hours. This
Totally
is just,
down for it.
It's so good. So thanks everybody for coming back to For the Girls Club. One, I want to thank all the listeners that are on the radio right now, listening to 93.7 The Ticket. Anybody that's streaming, listening to us on YouTube, Facebook, X. I'm really trying to grow the show, and that's why I'm bringing on great business owners and people in the community like Shannon. All right, Shannon, we're going to talk about, I know.
Hit me with the hard question.
That's right. We're going to talk about maybe it's applicable to growth of your company, but also growth of what you see in the small businesses that you work in. And when it comes to marketing and growth, what's one simple shift in messaging that can instantly increase sales?
Authenticity, for certain.
Yeah.
We're seeing that a lot right now. And I think it's only going to grow because, and I love AI in a lot of ways.
Yes.
Right? But I think when your message matches who they meet in person, that's super important.
Totally.
Right? Because we still do business with people we know, like, and trust.
Yep.
Right. And I do think that we have a lot of assets with technology that can help that. So one-to-many approaches. We talked about that earlier, going, well, we're going to have a webinar. That's one-to-many, or using video in your marketing. You can still be very authentic, and it builds trust early on. Before I even meet you, I know what you look like, what you sound like. I like what you said.
Mannerisms,
all of those things help bridge that gap. It's certainly helpful over a cold call.
Yeah.
So
totally.
being able to use those in email marketing and streaming or your website, all of those things, we have those tools at the ready.
Yeah. And I feel like, especially in, today's where we're at right here, right now in this universe today, right? You can follow someone on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and you feel like you know them even before you meet them.
Yes.
So the message, if you don't, your messaging is very important then to what you really want to provide to your future customers or your future clients, right?
But by that same token, if you put out an image that isn't your own, you won't maintain it long. So be authentic. You guys have great strengths. You have great offerings. You have great niches that you have built. You have all of those things. Just tell people about it.
Yeah.
Be real.
Right.
Yeah. Just be real.
Right. I love that. Okay. Here's a follow-up question to that, because I find even with my own, business clients, coaching clients, consulting clients, this is a question that they have from a marketing perspective. How important is personal branding versus business branding right now?
I think that question, I think they should always jive, right? They always have to coexist, right? My business is a reflection of me.
Yes.
I am the one out there, but that's what I love about small business.
Right.
There is not a lot of gap between the business brand and who owns it, because you know them together. right?
Yeah.
So that's why I really love small business.
Right.
I love family-owned businesses, all of those things, because they generate their own culture quite quickly.
Yeah.
But I did hear Paul Jarrett from Bulu Box speak at
He's great.
Marketech,
Yeah.
right? And he was saying that they spent lots of time and money in, and he does a lot of LinkedIn on their business page. But he goes, what I found is actually my personal page generated more. And that just really stuck with me because I think it comes back to who's the person behind it, right? So I just thought that was an interesting tidbit that he shared out at Marketech, I don't know, a year or two ago, that just stuck with
that's
me.
great.
That I do think that the personal brand has to coincide with the business brand.
Yeah. And it I think it also, we talked about this during the break. It goes to commitment of doing it, right? Like putting the brand out there, and consistency and intention. Consistency plus velocity is going to equal results.
And that is so true. And results doesn't always mean positive, right? So if you
correct, right, you can do something consistently, not great with velocity, which does not get you a great result.
Or you do it like, my husband, he'll love this if he watches it. He's like, you can do something really good and put a lot of power to it and it will skyrocket. You can do something really bad, put a lot of power to it, and it will dive you into the ground just the same. I'm
Right.
sure he made it more succinct, but
Yeah,
it is
I'm
true
with you.
that, you can do a lot of things very quickly. And if you're doing them bad, it's just going to expedite your negative result. So
Yeah.
just being conscientious of that. And it kind of comes back to what you're measuring and tracking and what you're keeping your eye on. You can
Totally.
course correct quite quickly if you're really being cognizant of what the outcome you want to have, because marketing is always one of those things that you can launch something, but you got to really watch it at the beginning, because the audience will tell you what they're responding to or not responding to. And then you just course correct. But
Right.
if you're hands off and you aren't paying attention to those things, or you don't have systems in place to go, okay, well, what do we need to change?
Right.
You want to launch a webinar and you aren't having signups. Okay, well, that's your first time out the gate. You might
Right.
have to alter something for the second one. That's
Right.
okay. It doesn't mean it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
You just have to try something different.
Right. Yeah. I love what you said. And I think the market will
Mhm.
tell you
Mhm.
how you're marketing,
Yes.
Right. Like that's really, if the market isn't responding, then
Mhm.
something's, and probably isn't right with your messaging.
Yeah. It could be the messaging. It could be the timing. It could be a lot of things, but that's where you need to do the old fashioned test and measure. But we
Yes.
have
The A and B
frameworks.
test, right?
The A and B
The
test.
A and B test. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think is a marketing truth that most people don't want to hear?
Ooh, I don't think you prepped me for that one. And the break. A marketing truth. I'm sure there's many, but I have done Digital Marketing 101 class. And what's interesting is that it never, ever, ever went towards what platforms. That's not
Oh.
even what we covered, because until you have exactly who you need to speak with,
Right.
who is going to be your client, what you're solving for them, the value you bring, it does not matter if you pick TikTok, Pinterest, Facebook. It doesn't
Yes.
matter. But they think Digital Marketing 101 is like, oh, you're going to tell me how to operate these platforms.
Right.
No, because that would be like giving you the keys and you can't even drive the car.
Right.
We've got to get that down.
Right.
So that would probably be something unexpected. People would think that, oh, Shannon's going to tell you what platforms you should be on and how to utilize the platforms. Yes, we can in time.
Totally.
But we got to get all the other things laid out first.
Well, and it goes back to messaging, and also who's your target client, who's the avatar that you're speaking to.
Right.
Because if you get on the platforms, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Pinterest, all of those, and you have a big megaphone that you're right, but yet you're messaging and you don't even really know who you're trying to connect with.
Right.
You've done all of that, and it really doesn't connect with people.
Well, and it's kind of interesting because a lot of people will be, oh, I sell insurance, or I'm in banking, or whatever it may be. And
Right.
we open accounts for everybody. Well, of course you do. So I have a banking relationship that they take deposit accounts? Of course they all do. But they have a specialty also in real estate investments.
Sure.
And we own a company with real estate investments. So they have skill sets that I needed. So talking about niching that, not necessarily to an exclusivity a lot of times, but knowing where your specialty is, who's going to buy quicker, where's the low hanging fruit. So we talk about banking. A lot of times they target transitions, right? In our life transitions, if you're a mortgage lender, it's going to be when they get married or when they have a kid, or maybe when they divorce, they downsize, or when they're empty nesters. Those transitions are where they're going to target because it's going to instigate a potential real estate transaction. So just knowing those sorts of things can benefit your message.
Yeah. Okay. So here's a question. I think we did talk about this one.
Okay.
What's the fastest way someone can start getting clients this month with their marketing?
As a small business is ask, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times we like to perfect things because that allows us to avoid the ask.
Yeah.
And what does that look like? I can bury myself in busy work if I so choose to.
Yes.
And feel very good when I go home at the end of the day and go, I did all of these important things or seemingly important things. I stayed busy, but did I go out and ask for the meeting or ask for the call or ask for the Zoom meeting, whatever it is?
Ask to do a demo.
Did I negate my sales side because the other things were easier?
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that I would say is just getting really comfortable asking. And that could look like networking for a small business is just being out there and having those conversations. I talk to a lot of business people that they're very good at their product or service, but they don't like to be the face of the company. The sales part isn't what they went into it for. So just getting comfortable with that.
Right. Which isn't uncommon, because you see a business owner that starts that they're very visionary. They have a vision of the product or the service that they want to, take to market, but they're not sales professionals.
Exactly.
And by the way, everybody, selling is happening all the time. We talk about that in the 10X community. As a 10X coach and consultant, the first thing we look at is sales and being a sales professional and knowing that you will either sell or you will be sold. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? You're either selling, maybe you're just trying to get a point across. I mean, kids are great at selling. I mean, my daughter
because
sold.
they don't have the fear.
Correct.
Yes, they don't have the fear.
And they haven't received as much correction yet.
Yeah. And I will
Young
say
children are
this.
great at selling.
Yeah, they're great.
Right.
And they're just good as buttons. And they know that I'm told to ask. I will ask.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
We get reservations as we get older. But I also think selling can look a lot of ways, right?
Totally.
And we have a reaction to the word sell. And if you ask people, because I've done that in a sales course that I taught, is our relationship with that word often is negative, right? But selling is helping facilitate a buy because they're going to buy anyway, right?
They're going to buy from someone.
They are. So when we can consult and help, hold hands, or however it is.
Yes. Yeah.
And because we're on the 4TheGirlsClub, women have this in spades. Because we'll have the conversation and we're okay with taking the time to lead through that and building the relationship through that sales process. And I realized that when my husband, who's always done sales, he does sales very different than me. And I kept thinking, I've got to do sales like this, or I've got to do sales like that. No, I just needed to be true to myself, going, if I have value and they're looking for what I have, it's just a conversation. That's all it needs to be. It became a lot less scary.
Totally. And I think there's definitely there is a sales process that can be very structured, and I teach that in my coaching. But like you said, you have to be authentic to yourself when you're doing, doing the process.
Right. And at some point going, does this seem like it's a fit? Because to me, I think we could do some good things.
Yes.
And then they can say, well, yes.
Yes.
Right. But if you always do the talking stage and you never say, does this make sense that we just partner
Right.
with this and move
Yes.
forward? Having a few of those phrases in your back pocket is super helpful.
Yes. I have a phrase. Have you seen enough to make a decision yet?
There you go.
Have you seen enough to make a decision yet? And they'll either say, yes, absolutely. Let's go. Or they'll be like, well, actually I have this question, which then means you get to go back into fact finding, et cetera.
Exactly. It's a process, just getting comfortable with it. But then we kind of talk about that. You just got to get your reps in.
Yes.
You got to get your reps in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to ask for the business.
Yeah. And then when you allow yourself to go, okay, well, what didn't I provide you that allowed you to make a decision today, one way or another?
That is such a
'Cause
great
we
question.
learn that way.
And you take accountability for it too, right?
Well, yeah, and we learn.
Yes.
It's like, well, you didn't cover this clear enough. Well, I won't make that mistake again. 'Cause
Correct.
now I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, we talked about marketing, but I tell you, marketing and sales go hand in hand.
Marketing and sales go hand in
Yes,
hand.
they do.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about maybe some advice that you would give to any small business owner that's maybe just starting out. And then I'm sure you guys have some services or some products that you could promote.
Yes.
So when we come back, we're going to do that right
All
here on For the Girls Club on 93.7 The Ticket.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Gentlemen, are you ready for something beyond the ordinary haircut? At Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, they blend your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. Sink into a comfy chair, unwind with a complimentary drink, and let their master barbers handle the rest. It's not just grooming, it's an experience. Whether you're prepping for a big meeting, needing to get cleaned up before family comes to town, or just need a little time to yourself, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln delivers sharp style every time. Book now at Scissors and Scotch in Lincoln, just south of 30th and Yankee Hill Road.
93.7 The Ticket is Lincoln's home for Kansas City Royals baseball in 2026. Catch all the action as Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and a pitching rotation led by Cole Reagans try to lead the Royals back to the postseason. That's Kansas City Royals baseball all summer long. On the air in Lincoln at 93.7 The Ticket.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Hey everyone, this is Austin Orman from Old School with Foreman and Orman, live from 1040 O Street in the heart of downtown Lincoln, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. My favorite thing about downtown Lincoln has to be the year-round energy. Downtown Lincoln never stops. It's easy to get to, has everything you could need or want in dining, entertainment, and retail, and of course it has Lincoln's best sports talk, proudly located in downtown Lincoln on the corner of 11th and O.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Is your air conditioner ready for the hot weather ahead? Get it checked now before you really need it. Call Bryant now to schedule your spring air conditioning service check. No matter what brand equipment you have, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean, inspect, and test to make sure it's ready to cool efficiently when hot weather hits. Stay cool and comfortable with air conditioning services from Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111 to schedule your AC check. Bryant, whatever it takes.
At DWE Generations, having a plan matters, especially when it comes to protecting what's most important. They work with individuals, families, and business owners to help make smart financial decisions that support life today and set the foundation for generations. David Darlington, Russell Walton, and Cody Eiler bring decades of experience, and their dedicated team provides follow-through, answering questions, explaining next steps, and staying connected as life evolves. DWE Generations, a generational wealth planning firm. DWE Generations is a marketing name for individuals doing business as representatives of Northwestern Mutual. Visit generations.nm.com or call 402-483-7871 and ask for David, Russell, or Cody.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement. There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Now back to For the Girls Club on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, Mandy Monson.
Welcome back, everybody. That's right. This is For the Girls Club, and we are in our last segment. I cannot believe it, Shannon. It goes so fast. This has been such a great. Yeah, we will do it again. We'll have to. This has been so good. Okay, so in the break or before the break, I said, hey, we're going to come back. We're going to do advice and then some promotion. So one question that I want to ask you is, this is from the advice perspective. If someone today was going to invest in something first, they're a they're starting their business, small business owner, what should they invest in first? Marketing, branding, or sales?
Okay. Sales. That is what I'm going to buzz in on.
Yeah.
Is sales, because it's easy to spend marketing dollars
right
without knowing what you're really pushing, right?
Right.
But if you can go one-to-one, grab a few sales, put those under your belt. Number one, you're going to learn why they buy and how they buy, right? And when you can refine all that, because yes, do I love doing branding packages? Yes, they're pretty, they're fun.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make your sale.
No. And
right?
if the market doesn't like it,
yeah,
you may have just put all this money into branding and marketing, but they're like, I don't even want that product.
And honestly, remember, my audience is small business.
Right.
And what's driving that is their sales. They're very close to the sale.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
There's not a lot of layers. So you've got to make the sales.
Right.
And then the branding comes with what you learn. So did I have a logo when I made my first sale? Nope.
Right.
In fact, I was, my first thing is I just came in and I assisted people. So I thought it'd be really clever to be in with the assist, right?
Yeah.
It was lame. It was stupid. And I didn't have a logo. Yeah, it was so lame. And everyone was like, what is that? Can you spell it? So I'm spelling each individual word. It was way dumb. It was a mistake, but I made it on a really small scale. And then you evolve into what people want and need and will buy. And that can involve your branding, but the sales have to drive everything, because you could have a great logo and colors and fonts, and then you don't sell anything and you're closing your doors.
Well, and I do think you bring up such a great point. I do think that's where sometimes people that start businesses can flame out really fast, because they either invest too much money in the branding and the marketing, and they don't even know the problems that their market wants solved.
Right.
Because they haven't been doing the ask.
Right.
They haven't been doing the demos.
Yeah. Just have the conversation.
Yes.
And you're going to realize that maybe something that you think is it's just hot, right? People are all going to buy this and they're like,
because you love
I need. So this has happened to me.
Yeah.
In recent years, is that I told you that there was a shift, especially in the service industries, like the trades.
Yeah.
Is they're busy. Right? There's plumbers that they have more calls in a day than what they can even get their crews out for,
that
right?
they can handle. Yes.
So when I'm hearing that on that segment of my business, because I love the trades, but I'm like, they don't need marketing. So what do they need? So my service evolved out of what they actually need. Because if I marry myself to the mission of growing small businesses, then you do that in the ways that make sense.
Right.
Not in the ways that I want, but the ways that make sense.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you gotta have the sales first.
Yep. Totally agree. All right. Let's talk a little promotion for the transformation group.
Yeah.
So do you have a product or a service today maybe that you're promoting, or what's the best way for potential clients that are interested in what you do to reach you?
Yeah. So how conversations, you can come to me and say, hey, Shannon, I do some marketing. I don't know if it's working.
Yeah.
That would be a good conversation point for me. Or I am running my business off of a spreadsheet or sticky notes or a
sticky
legal
note
pad
business, which
and I
is-
have my
yeah.
own legal pad.
Totally.
But it does
I do
not
too.
run my
I have a
business.
notebook. Yes, correct.
But if those are some of the things that you're like, I just need to put some systems in place. And what does systems even look like? What does automations even look like? You say that, and I'm not even sure what that exactly means.
Yeah.
Until you have those in place, and I will explain them, I will make them applicable to you. You cannot scale.
Yeah.
Systems scale.
Yeah.
So if you want to grow your business and you are kind of at a plateau, then you have to look at what is missing that is going to allow you to leap and multiply yourself and your efforts and your messaging. And that comes through systems and automation.
Yeah. And I think how to take this back to I think the first segment, when you're talking about just the environment that we're in today,
Mhm.
It efficiencies, systems, automation, combined with the right marketing, combined with the right messaging is really what's going to
Absolutely.
help a business be
And
successful.
I will help you with the system.
I love that. I love that. Shannon, thank you so much for being on For the Girls Club. You
Thank
guys
you.
come back next week, Tuesday, 8 to 9 p.m. We're going to be right here on 93.7 The Ticket.